This is Unit 1, Lab 3, page 6, looping with a counter. On this page, you will use 4 loops not only to repeat, but also to count the repetitions, and then use that counter to draw shapes like these. So in past labs, we used a forever block that keeps things going on and on and on and on. A repeat block repeats a command for a specific number of times, which you used on the previous pages of Lab 3. This is called iteration. Computer scientists describe a repeating program structure as looping, repetition, or iteration. Sometimes the script inside a loop needs to know which time through the loop it's in, the first, the second, etc. You can use one of these for I loops to keep track. Let's see where that is. Here we go. Let's try this script that they're saying there. So I is a variable. Let's see what happens. Ooh, see? It's counting. I stands for index. You can change the name by clicking on it. Then I'd have to redrag this here. That just makes my text more readable. Okay, so step 1 I just did. Build this script that makes the sprite say the numbers 1 through 10. I just did that. Then modify it so that the script says 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, up through 30, and then discuss your solutions with another pair. All right, it asks you for the sprite to count even numbers up to 30. So I'm going to get you started on that, and then you have to finish it. Even numbers are multiples of 2. So if I go into operators and I drag this in like that, I can change this field here, and then I'll also have to change the 1 to 10 because I want it to count even numbers up to 30. So what do I have to put in this field here? And what do I need to change these two numbers to? So it goes from 0 to 30. Okay, so again, what do I put here, here, and here so that the sprite will count even numbers up to 30, including 0. Okay, once you've accomplished something, make sure you save. And we're going to save this lab as Unit 1, Lab 3, Squirrel. All right, step 2, experiment with spirals. Build this script and try it out. So we go to pen, we're going to drag a pen down, we're going to go to control, we're going to go to this for loop. We're going to right click on that and rename it as length. Cap lock's on, that doesn't matter. They're saying 1 to 100. And then move operators 2 times length steps and motion, turn 90 degrees. Oh, cool. All right. Then these next steps are up to you. Try switching the order of the 101 in the 4 block in the spiral script. What's the result? Try changing the turning angle to numbers such as 92, 126, etc. Change the inputs to turn and move to get as close as you can get to a smooth spiral. And then save, save, save. Okay, so I'm leaving these steps to you. You're going to switch the order of the 100 and the 1 in the 4 block. Try changing the turning angle, and then figure out how to change the inputs and turn and move to get as close as you can to a smooth spiral. And make sure you save frequently. Next, open your U1 L3 pinwheel project and build a nest squares block that uses 4 and your polygon block to draw nested squares. Give it an input so that it will draw whatever number of squares you specify, with each square larger than the previous. Okay, so it's telling me to open my Unit 1 L3 pinwheel. So I'm going to just make sure that this spiral one is saved. And then I'm going to go back, go to open, type in U1 L3, which was my most recent one. I don't know. I'm just going to open one of these. Okay, so I have my polygon thing in there. And what are they telling me here? Build a nest squares block. So I'm going to right click, make a block, call it nest squares. The motion, it's a command. It needs an input, x squares, number of squares. That's my input, which will be number of squares. And I'm gonna use one of these because I'm using my polygon block. And I'm gonna use a control. So it's definitely got 4 sides, but what should I be putting here? All right, what should I put here? What should I put here? Okay, so this has got to be dragged somewhere, and then the eye has to be dragged somewhere. And I'm going to leave that to you to figure out. All right, so I leave it to you, to this nest squares. You're going to have to drag this input somewhere, drag the eye somewhere, and I think you're also going to have to use an operator. Study this for a while, and then I'm going to show you how it should work. Okay, if your nest square block works correctly, when you put in the number of squares, get a different amount. Let's see here. All right, that's a little tricky, so work together, ask questions, and figure it out. Nest squares.